Good morning everyone. This is your Standard 9 Economics class, and today we are going to talk about the different types of economies. So we already know the meaning of economy, but let me just brush up. Economy refers to the production activities of all well-defined area or region. Now we always refer as a village economy or rural economy, urban economy or economy of the country. What exactly is this economy? I gave you a technical definition, but to make it more understandable or intelligible to you, let me give an example of a village. In a village, there are people who are engaged in variety of activities, different types of activities they undertake in order to earn a livelihood. So those are your economic activities. On the other hand, there are schools, there are health centers. So these institutions are basically set up to offer services to the people. And it is also a means of livelihood to many, because these institutions are employing many people from the village. So when all the activities undertaken, the economic activities as well as the activities that are generated, activities or the services that are generated and rendered by various institutions established in the village, when you put them together, that constitutes your economy. It is actually the production of activities. Economy refers to the production activity of all well-defined area or region. So whatever that happens within the jurisdiction of an area, that is called as an economy. So we have the classification of economy. Basically, there are different types of economies here. So today we are going to only learn about the market economy or the capitalist economy. There are three types of economies. We have the market economy or the capitalist economy, the planned economy or the socialist economy, and then the mixed economy like India. So in this session, we are only going to learn about the market economy. So what is a market economy or a capitalist economy? It means, in a market economy or a capitalist economy, means of production are owned by private players or private people. There is least interference from the government. Okay, examples of capitalist economy I can give you here is UK, USA, Australia, okay, most of the European countries like Germany for example, France for example. Okay, so these are some examples of capitalist economies where the private producers take the responsibility of production. The central problems faced by an economy, such as what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce, the answers to these questions are ideated, or they are found by these private players with least government interference. So let us talk about, now since I have already given you a brief explanation of what a capitalist economic system is all about. Now let us focus on the features or characteristics of market economy. First and foremost, there is complete freedom to the producers. Okay, freedom for producers, freedom for consumers. Producers have the freedom to produce variety of goods in large quantities and offer to the consumer. Consumers are offered with large quantities or variety of goods in the market. They have variety of goods in the market, so they have the freedom to exercise their choice. There is no aggressive selling happening in this economy. Consumers are free to buy whatever they wish. Right to inherit property is another important feature of the capitalist economy. Okay, so what do you mean by that? These are capitalists, these are industrialists. So the property or the wealth that is amassed, okay, by the father, it will be inherited by the son. So the wealth that is accumulated by these private producers, it will pass down from one generation to another generation. It is inherited by their legal heirs. and it is their right to do so in a capitalist economy. A capitalist economy is a free market. Okay, so what do you understand by a free market? It's like there is complete freedom for trade. It is the producer who decides the price. You know, he will determine the price and he will make the goods available to the consumers. Consumers have a choice to pick up whatever they want from the plethora of goods that is created in the market. So that is your free market, and it is done for profit motive is another important characteristics. Capitalists, they are working so hard, they try to increase their production by leaps and bounds so that they can make the goods available, make the goods available extensively. So more production, more distribution, that will result in more profit. So profit is actually a reward which the capitalist is aspiring for, and they always make an effort to maximize that profit. So the economic activities are undertaken with a view to earn more profits. Then class conflicts is another important characteristic of capitalist society or capitalist countries. There are, capitalism has given rise to two classes, the labor as well and the capitalist or the industrialist. Both of them have their own expectations from each other. And when these expectations are not met, then the interest of the workers and that of the capitalists collide with each other. Conflicts arises. So these class conflicts are pretty common in a capitalist economy. To be very frank, capitalist economy, this form of economy, it is actually, it came into being only after the Industrial Revolution. Okay, we need not go in detail about Industrial Revolution, but that was the time in 1750 when Industrial Revolution started. Okay, at that time the factory system came into being. Labor was replaced by machines. Okay, manual work was replaced by machines. So that is the reason. So now these artisans or craftsmen, who were usually conducting the activities, or they were producing goods in their respective homes. After the Industrial Revolution, they were expected to come to the factory and work in the factory. Okay, so that is how the two classes have emerged. Okay, price mechanism. Okay, what do you mean by price mechanism? This is one of the most important characteristic of your capitalist system. Okay, prices are determined by the capitalist. They will decide. They will determine the price. Now again here, price is a most important determinant. Okay, determinant of your demand as well as supply. If demand is equal to supply, because in a capitalist economy, these are all very prosperous economies. People have the capacity to purchase different types of goods. So demand is always high. So demand for variety of goods. So when demand is more, the supply should also be more. So when the demand is equal to supply, prices are more reasonable and they are more stable. So goods are available at reasonable prices in a capitalist economy because demand always equals to supply. Okay, now again here we have learned about human wants and the classification of human wants. Necessities, comforts and luxuries. Now even in a capitalist economy, there are people from all walks of life. And there are variety of goods available in the market too. Now these goods are not meant for everyone, because there will be some goods that are very, very expensive. And they are actually not meant for people from the lower strata of the society. Okay, I mean to say not meant in the sense like they will not be able to afford them. But there are people who have the affordability and they buy and use these products, and that is why these expensive products are always in demand. Okay. So Adam Smith has described this characteristic of price mechanism as, this phenomena. Okay, this phenomena has been defined, or it has been regarded by Adam Smith as invisible hand. We feel that, goods should be within the affordability of the consumer, then the consumer will buy it. But there are some goods which are not within the affordability of some set of people or some sizable population, but there are people who are affluent and they can enjoy them. And that is the reason why the demand for those goods is also increasing by leaps and bounds. So that is an invisible hand which that operates or functions in a capitalist economy. And there is cutthroat competition. Of course, yes, because they are all private producers. Each one of them want to carve out a niche for themselves. So they fight tooth and nail. So competition, market competition gets intensified day by day in a capitalist economy. And it is a laissez-faire state in the sense it is free trade. Okay, another word for laissez-faire state is free trade. We have already, a free market. We have already discussed about that. Okay, so these are the important characteristics of a capitalist economy. So let me just summarize this to you once again. Okay, what is a capitalist economy? So we have discussed about what is economy. Okay, economy is actually, it refers to the production activities of all well-defined area and region. I give an example of village economy. In a village, there is economic activity happening. There may be so many social activities also happening. So production, basically production is very important. Okay, even if you have these social units or agencies like educational institutions or health centers, they are generating employment for the village people. So they are, in a way, means of livelihood is earned. So it is considered as a kind of production. So when all the kind of production are put together, that is your economy, and we have three basic types of economies: capitalist economy, socialist economy, and a mixed economy. So today in this session we are only going to talk about the capitalist economy. So capitalist economy is an economy where private players or individual producers play a very important role. Okay, they decide what to be produced, how to produce, and when to produce. Government interference is less in this type of economic system. Okay, now we have already gone through, or we have discussed the features of capitalist economy. Now let us talk about what are the merits of this economic system. Of course, abundance of good. Since the producers are competing with each other, they will always try to undertake large scale production. So when goods are produced on a very large scale, on a massive scale extensively, then distribution is also going to be extensive. So people have a variety of goods available, okay, in the market, so they can exercise their choice. Then the best resource utilization. The available resources, whether it is the natural resources or the human capital, whatever is there in the economy, in the country, okay, these producers will try to put it to the best of their use. Even the factors of production like land and labor, they are competing with each other to put up their best performance. Okay, now how do you think, now the question will arise, how can land compete with labor? Okay, competition, by competition I mean, since the producers want to expand their business activities, there will be more and more demand for land. Okay, and householders, consumers, these are consumers, producers, government, these are most important economic agencies. Okay, and consumers can also be factor owners. So they can lend these factors of production to the producers. So when production activity increases, demand for factors of production like land, labor does increase. Okay, and because the producers know how to make the best use of these factor inputs. So best utilization of resources happen in a capitalist economy. There is a lot of technological progress. Okay, because these capitalist economies, they are like technological avarices. In the sense, they want to be the first to develop and adopt the technology. Okay, so that is an advantage. Okay, when they can use or they can access the latest and the most modern technology, cheap and the best goods are available here. Yes, the quality, there is no compromise as far as the quality of raw material is concerned here, because they have the affordability to buy the best of materials. Okay, so that the final product is also a standard product. Okay, and these products are made available at a reasonable or a cheaper rate because demand and supply are equal to each other. In a capitalist economy, it is in a capitalist economy, it is possible to strike an equilibrium between your demand as well as your supply. Okay, so then prices are regulated, prices get stabilized, and you can make the goods available at a cheaper rate. Incentive for hard work. Producers are working so hard. And why do you think they are doing it? Because they have a profit motive. Profit is their reward. Profit is like an incentive to them for all the hard work they put in. And then again, there is a lot of economic freedom. Freedom for the producers, freedom for consumers. These are all overlapping points which I am not going to repeat once again. Okay, there is freedom enjoyed by producers as far as production decisions are concerned. They can take their decisions. Consumers also can take decisions pertaining to their purchasing power, whether they want this or whether they want that commodity. Okay, so there is economic freedom over here. Okay, and then increase in production and the standard of living. Okay, I think this doesn't require too much of explanation, but still increase in production because producers are always competing and they are manufacturing goods in anticipation of demand. So production is increasing by leaps and bounds. When goods are produced more, okay, when there is extensive production being undertaken, distribution will also be undertaken extensively. So producers are creating a plethora of goods in the market. They flood the market with variety of goods for the consumers. And there are different types of goods that are available. Cheap, expensive. Now this serves as an incentive or an inspiration rather, for the consumers. If I want to avail a high-end car, a luxurious car. Today I may not have the affordability, but I can always work hard, put in a lot of effort to generate wealth, so that one fine day I am able to satisfy my need of purchasing that expensive car. Okay, so in a capitalist economy, consumers work hard. They put in a lot of effort to improve their standard of living so that they can enjoy these variety of goods that are available to them or made available to them rather by the producers. So these are some of the merits or the brighter side of a capitalist economy. Now every side in every coin has two sides, a brighter side and a darker side. Okay. Now there are some demerits also. And Karl Marx, the father of the communist economic system, he has clearly stated in his book Capital that in a capitalist economy, the producers take away 12 hours of work. Okay, 12 hours of a worker in manufacturing or producing the goods, but when they have to pay them, they pay the payment or the wages which the workers receive are somewhere equal to 6 hours. So Karl Marx has criticized this economic system on many grounds. Okay, exploitation is the major one. He is highlighting on exploitation that is happening in the capitalist economy. Producers do exploit the workers in a bid to maximize their profits. So in a capitalist economy, producers are very self-centered. They just want to maximize their profits at the cost of social well-being. They are least interested about the well-being or welfare of the workers. Workers are paid less so that they have more and more profits and income to enjoy. Okay, now let us just run through all the demerits of capitalist economy. These are the criticisms. Unequal distribution of income. Disparity in income distribution. Of course, yes. I have just now explained to you. I don't think I need to repeat the same again. We have the workers who are being paid less, so they remain poor. Capitalists are just trying to maximize their profits at the cost of the workers' well-being. So they are getting richer and richer day by day. So this is the disparity, okay, that exists in income distribution. Class conflicts are pretty common in a capitalist economy. Okay, the main reason is exploitation. When the workers are not handsomely paid, when they do not receive handsome wages, okay, as per or in accordance to the time, the work hours that they are putting in, obviously they will get agitated. So the result is industrial disharmony. So strikes, lockouts are common features in a capitalist economy. So the interest of the workers, interest of the management or the capitalist, okay, does collide with each other, or the conflicts do arise. So this is one of the important criticism or demerit. Unemployment. We have already spoken about the trade cycles, the boom phase and the depression. Now, owing to excessive or extensive production, okay, now during the boom phase, production goes on increasing. Producers, they produce in leaps and bounds. And since it is the boom phase, the distribution is also pretty vast. Okay, distribution is also pretty vast. Or extensive rather, I would use the word extensive. And at that time, employment is full. People are well employed, they are receiving their income, and that is why they have the affordability to enjoy everything that is there in the market. Okay, as per their wish. But depression is when the economy is languishing, slow down. Okay, production is suspended, business activity comes to a standstill. Exactly what, this is exactly happening now in the world because of COVID. Okay, because of the lockdown, production was suspended. Business activity had come to a standstill. So many companies did not have the corpus to pay salaries to their employees, and that is why many of them lost their jobs. That's exactly what happens in a capitalist economy. When a country is going through a depression, okay, when the economy is going through a depression, at that time, people can lose their job. The chances of unemployment is much more. Okay, the fear or scourge of unemployment is much more at that period of time. Exploitation. Exploitation. Okay, what do you mean by exploitation here? We know capitalists are exploiting the workers. They are not given proper wages. Even their rest hours are reduced. No proper rest hours. They are deprived of all the basic things that are required. This is the basic confusion. This is the basic complaint of a worker against the management, that they are deprived of their rights. So exploitation is a very, very common. It's quite common. It's a common feature of a capitalist economy, because capitalists are very self-centered people. They want to maximize profit at the cost of the workers. Okay, the workers' well-being rather. Wastage of resources. As a merit, we just learned that producers know how to put the resources, okay, to good use. But again here, there are chances of wasting these valuable resources. How? Innovations. In a capitalist economy, there is cutthroat competition. Producers are competing with each other by tooth and nail. So they are constantly thinking, they are constantly using their energies to innovate, to discover new ways and techniques of production. Okay, so innovation. So in the bargain, when they are in the process of discovering different techniques, when they are in the process of thinking out of the box and innovating new methods or technology to produce goods, at that time there are chances of wasting resources. Secondly, consumers, okay, or people residing in these capitalist economies, they enjoy high standard of living. They have the affordability to purchase variety of goods. So when they want to buy something new, the old goods are discarded. So if they want to buy a new car, the old car is not, in India generally we have the tendency to sell our old car and then buy a new one. Okay, but in the US or UK, in the European countries, since most of them are capitalist economies and they have a plethora of goods, the variety of automobiles have come, name the commodity and it is in varieties. You find it in different variations. Okay, so the old car will be dumped in the scrapyard. Okay, so this is one way of wasting resources. And again, producers, because they are in a monopolistic competition, that is, there are many firms manufacturing close substitutes of each other, like soap. Okay, there will be so many firms manufacturing soap, different types of soap. Everyone is trying to claim that my product is better than others. So product differentiation. Now, how are they going to tell this to the consumer? Advertisement. Okay, that is a salient feature of a monopolistic competition. So producers spend unscientifically and unreasonably, extravagantly on advertisements. And then again, the next demerit is economic fluctuations. Again, the same thing. I have already spoken to you, trade cycles. Suddenly they go through a boom phase where production is just, it just burst out. Okay, large scale production, large scale distribution, people are enjoying the variety of goods that are there in the market because employment is full, people are employed, they have the affordability. Suddenly you can see, okay, economy is slowing down, it is languishing. And then again that will have an impact on the employment level. People will not have the, when they are jobless, they have no purchasing power, demand for various commodities will decrease. So there won't be any equilibrium between demand and supply. Supply, of course, yes, goods will be supplied in the market, but demand will be less. So that will again make the price of the commodities very, very unstable. Okay, so these economic fluctuations are also a common characteristic of your capitalist economy, and it is one of the biggest shortcoming, rather, okay, of a capitalist economy. And the next important demerit is, or shortcoming is, self-interest in place of social welfare. I have been repeating this several times. Capitalists, very self-centered. They are more interested in maximizing their profits than providing social welfare, or then keeping the workers happy with giving them what they want, or trying to meet or making an effort to meet the expectations of the workers. So they give predominance to their self-interest, which is maximization of profit. And another important demerit is unbalanced development. Okay, if you see any of this capitalist economy, you will realize that certain regions of these, like in the US also you can see, or in Australia for that matter, you will find that certain parts of these countries are very well developed, whereas certain parts are just deserted. They are just ignored. They are undeveloped at all. Now producers, they are there to maximize their profit. Now to maximize profit, they have to produce more commodities. Production has to be undertaken in anticipation of demand. Okay, so if their production has to increase by leaps and bounds, then obviously they will require a lot of inputs. Factor inputs, whereas the non-factor inputs also. There is raw materials required, machineries are required, and they basically require a place which can provide them with all these inputs. A well-balanced area.